This is Veena from Patter Cake, the channel that's about baking and much more. Here's where you'll find quick and tasty recipes for new cooks and those with less time to spend in the kitchen. Okay then, let's get cracking with today's recipe. Welcome back. Today's video features two traditional Goan Nachani or Ragi recipes that are packed with the wholesome goodness of this superfood. The first, Tizaan, is a sweet, thick pudding, and Ambil, a savory fermented drink that's like a thin porridge. Today's recipes are not only nutritious, they are very tasty, need very few ingredients, and can be prepared in minutes. So let's see how we can make them right here at Patter Cake. We'll start by preparing Tizaan. To make Tizaan, we'll need Nachani or Ragi flour, milk, water, jaggery, preferably palm jaggery, ground cardamom, salt, and some raisins and chopped cashew nuts. This being a quick version of Tizaan, I'm starting with Nachani flour instead of with Nachani grains. We'll need 3 tablespoons of Nachani flour. Let's make a smooth slurry of the flour with a 1/4 cup of water. Traditionally, Nachani grains are soaked overnight and then ground the next morning to extract Nachani milk from them. This is then cooked with regular milk or coconut milk and palm jaggery to make Tizaan. Let's keep this aside. Now, as I just mentioned, Tizaan can be made with either milk or coconut milk. I'll be using a mix of milk and water. This is 1 cup of milk. And here I have around 60 to 70 grams or 5 tablespoons of palm jaggery. Since my jaggery was hard and dry, I dissolved it in 1 cup of very hot water and then cooled the mixture. I'll now add it to the milk. Now palm jaggery gives Tizaan its characteristic flavor and typical chocolate brown color. If you don't have palm jaggery, however, you could use cane jaggery. Yes, the Tizaan will have a lighter color, but it will still be tasty. I'll now stir in the Nachani slurry we prepared and then add in a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of ground cardamom. I'll now turn on the heat and set it to medium. From now on, we have to stir the mix continuously because it will thicken as it cooks and we don't want our Tizaan to develop lumps or get burnt. Now Nachani or Ragi, called finger millet in English, is a nutrient-packed grain that's rich in dietary fibre, protein, calcium and iron and is known to be good for strengthening the bones, lowering bad cholesterol, reducing hunger pangs and boosting immunity. So several good reasons to include Nachani in our diet. The mix is starting to thicken. So I'll reduce the heat to low, add in some raisins and chopped cashew nuts and continue cooking the mix for another 2 to 3 minutes. Do taste it and add some more jaggery or sugar if you want the Tizaan to be sweeter. The quantity we are cooking will serve 2 people. Our Tizaan is done. Now let's ladle some of it out into a bowl. Remember, this will get even thicker as it cools. Our tasty Tizaan is now ready to be served. Next, let's make Ambil, the power-packed fermented congee-like porridge that's been a staple breakfast food for Goa's tribal communities since long. And by the way, the name Ambil is derived from the Konkani words for sour and fermented. To make Ambil, we'll need Nachani flour, water, coconut milk, crushed ginger, ground cumin, salt, sugar, pepper powder, and a little leftover cooked rice if you want to give it an extra traditional touch. Traditionally, in Goan tribal homes, Nachani flour is mixed with some water and allowed to ferment overnight. The next morning, this is cooked like a congee, mostly with only water, sometimes with a little milk added to it. Then they season it and throw in a little leftover cooked rice. I'll be skipping the cooked rice, but here's 3 tablespoons of Nachani flour that I had mixed with a quarter cup of water and allowed to ferment overnight for around 10 hours. Fermenting increases the vitamin B12 content in the Nachani mix. Here I have 2.5 cups of water heating on the stove. I'm going to season the Ambil my way with 1 teaspoon of crushed ginger, half a teaspoon of ground cumin, half a teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of sugar. In Maharashtra, they add crushed garlic to Ambil, whereas in Tamil Nadu, they add chopped onions to it. You too could add your own seasonings. When the water starts boiling, stir in the fermented Nachani slurry. Stir the mix continuously, and when it comes to a boil, it will thicken some more. I would really appreciate some feedback from you. So don't forget to let me know how your Tizaan and Ambil turn out, okay? We'll now add in half a cup of coconut milk with continuous stirring. And then mix in 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper powder. I'm now going to add around a quarter cup of water to the Ambil to thin it a little. At this stage, you could adjust the consistency of the Ambil to your desired thickness. That done, it'll be time to sample it and adjust the taste. I think all mine needs is half a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of sugar. That's it. Our Ambil is now ready to serve. Let's pour some into a glass jug. And top it with chopped coriander. As a variation, instead of coconut milk, you could add buttermilk to the Ambil. That could be yogurt diluted with an equal quantity of water. But in that case, add the buttermilk at the end, after the Ambil has cooled to room temperature. With coconut milk, it would be a healthy, vegan beverage. With buttermilk, a nutritious probiotic drink. Both versions taste great. So here they are, 2 traditional, highly nutritious Goan Nachani preparations. They are both so tasty, need such few ingredients, and are so quick to make. Do make them both, and don't be surprised if you find you want to make them again and again. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and do stop by again for yet another quick and tasty recipe. Till then, take care, happy cooking!